Overlapping elements always makes a brand harder to decipher. Let's talk about it. Overlapping elements was once a popular technique in identity designs, but people learned more than 100 years ago it reduces legibility. Placing type over an image makes both the image and the type harder to read. Similar to overlapping is the practice of placing the signature inside a visual element, which makes the type subordinate to the shape and reduces legibility. When the signature type is very brief, it can work, but only marginally. Larger signatures suffer considerably from this approach. It should be avoided. In this fish logo, the name Conte is subordinated to the shape of the fish. The words market and grill are severely subordinated in the top fin, and the word Westport is even more so in the lower fin. Why do that? Does it help communicate? No. The same was true for the Best Buy name being subordinated to the price tag shape. The new identity has the tag subordinated to the words, which is better. Putting type over any other elements does nothing to benefit legibility. Sometimes overlapping with lighter elements can be survived, but the text is never made easier to read by doing so. When type over an element is only middle value, legibility is ruined. Sometimes placing type over another element can help with contrast, but one wonders why they didn't put something dark underneath all of that type, instead of just the middle. Or of course, if the type had been given enough contrast, there would have been no need for any shape behind the type. When any text is placed over a busy background, elements that are both light and dark, legibility is severely compromised, as we can clearly see here. The Pinnacle logo is severely compromised in legibility by overlapping it on the pyramid shape. It also is not helped by the fact that the letter forms don't have contrast, merely the outline of the letter forms. Often, the motivation to overlap identity elements is little more than an attempt to camouflage uninspired, lackluster, or mismatched elements, as we can clearly see here. Placing the logo in the middle of a two-word signature disrupts reading the signature. Then separating it from the signature for a different layout becomes a breach of design continuity. Best not do it at all. Capital One, on the other hand, fixed the low contrast one, but improved nothing by adding a hackneyed swoosh shape that intersects the signature, making it harder to read. Pepto-Bismol's name became easier to read by omitting the pink background. Oxygen's identity is better without the unrelated yellow O. The Utah Jazz identity took a drastic turn for the worse by sacrificing clear and unified type for a sickly conceived and poorly executed letter J, cobbled together from other poorly drawn parts. Furthermore, the secondary drop shadow lines in the main letters compromises clarity, especially in front of the word Utah, where it could easily be mistaken for an extra letter I. Ariana Space's new logo is better designed, and separating the elements improves legibility. As with so many other issues relating to legibility, the problems are magnified when viewed at a distance or when the elements are small. Here you can see the problem of overlapping, as well as the superiority of the solid logo over the 3D one. As with any other action that lessens clarity, overlapping elements should be avoided. It may not be a total disaster, but it never improves legibility. Instant clarity and readability are indispensable qualities of successful corporate identity, which is why overlapping is a deadly sin of logo design. For more information, go to logodesigntheory.com. If you found this helpful, be sure to like this video, subscribe, and share this with anyone who needs to know more about logo design.